good boxing skills, but he doesn't deploy them primarily defensively. He employs them in order to hurt you. With responsible defense, recognizing when you're aggressive, you're going to get clipped sometimes. This would be one of the most peak kind of amazing tiny weight fights, like below featherweight in the history of boxing.
It's the biggest in the modern era.
I'm trying to think of under 126. What would you get under 126?
According to Max Kellerman, Naoya Inoue possesses exceptional boxing skills, but he does not primarily utilize them for defensive purposes. Instead, he deploys his technical arsenal with the clear intention of inflicting damage on his opponents, all while maintaining a responsible and calculated defensive approach that keeps him out of harm's way. Inoue fully understands that when you adopt an aggressive fighting style, you are inevitably going to absorb some punches in return, which is why he carefully balances his offensive output with smart defensive maneuvers that minimize risk.
When Bam's doing it, he's making you like a kid, and he's stopping you, and he's hurting you. He got the footwork like Shakur, and he's pounding you out like a David Benavidez.
Yes.
We got to talk about it.
I just want to mention one fighter, because I've compared Inoue and Bam to this guy. I want people to stop him first, and this is why you're sleeping on Usyk a little bit right now. Weight jumping matters when you're challenging yourself. Manny Pacquiao, what division did Bam start in?
105?
108. 108.
Same as Pacquiao.
Pacquiao won his first lineal championship at 112.
And his first title at 108.
And first title, but first time he was the lineal champion. No, he didn't win a 108.
Oh, okay.
No. Lineal title, his first title at 112. Now he doesn't stop at every division. He jumps.
Kellerman emphasizes that this particular matchup has the potential to be one of the most extraordinary contests in the history of boxing's lighter weight divisions, specifically those below the featherweight limit.
Let's talk about Max, that southpaw with that foot outside and taking center control. He does that the whole time, and he makes guys pay off of the step, off of the pin.
And then when he moves in the opposite direction, it's a choice he's making.
Yes.
So he can fight you in semicircles because he can establish the outside foot, move where he wants, turn you the other way. It's like you don't know where he's coming from. It's like you're fighting.
As far as to suggest that this fight could very well be the most significant and compelling bout in the modern era of the sport. When Kellerman tries to recall any comparable fight that has taken place under the 126-pound weight class, he struggles to find anything that matches the scale, intrigue, and sheer quality that this proposed showdown between Inoue and Rodriguez promises to deliver. In a recent analysis, veteran boxing commentator Max Kellerman has openly shared his perspective on why a potential clash between Naoya Inoue and Jesse "Bam" Rodriguez could ultimately turn out to be the most enormous and anticipated fight in all of boxing right now.
Bam. He hit hard as hell like the old Bam Bam. When I watch him, I'll just say this. If you're not into boxing, right, you're not into sports, there's certain fighters or certain players, athletes that are so special. If you don't know nothing about basketball, and if I throw on a tape of Michael Jordan, you're like, damn, this dude is different. Right. Football, right, it could be,
Shady McCoy.
Barry Sanders, guys like this special. When you watch Bam, if you don't know nothing about boxing.
It that this particular matchup is gradually evolving from a mere hypothetical discussion into the kind of dream fight that fans simply cannot afford to overlook or dismiss. The boxing community has been buzzing with speculation, and Kellerman's insights have only added more fuel to the fire, as he breaks down the tactical and stylistic elements that make this contest so fascinating.
Sure that he's going to get a hit because he knows that he's more powerful. He will step right in the pocket and take 2 or 3 to land his 2 or 3.
With no panic.
But the difference is, it's not that he's content with taking the shots. He's defensively responsible.
Yes.
Sometimes you're going to get clipped.
According to him, this is not just another title defense or a routine super fight. It represents a genuine collision of two of the sport's most exceptional talents, and that is precisely why it has captured the imagination of fans and experts alike. Kellerman is adamant that Bam Rodriguez should not be dismissed as just another smaller fighter whose name is being brought up merely to generate attention or hype. On the contrary, Rodriguez is a young, sharp, and fearless competitor who possesses the kind of skill set that makes people genuinely believe he could actually test the greatness of a fighter like Naoya Inoue.
Has been some early preliminary conversations with His Excellency about Inoue against Bam, and I do think that fight is inevitable. I don't think it's going to be necessarily straight after the Vargas fight, but it could be as quick as in the next 2 or 3 fights. It's probably one of the biggest fights in boxing. It's one that Bam likes the idea of. But
often referred to as Bam Bam, and that nickname is entirely fitting because he punches with devastating power, much like the original Bam Bam from the famous animated series. Kellerman draws a compelling comparison by stating that if you are not particularly interested in boxing or even sports in general, there are certain athletes who are so extraordinarily special that their talent becomes immediately apparent to anyone watching. He gives the example of Michael Jordan in basketball, where he
am inclined to favor Inoue in this fight, even though I haven't seen as much Inoue as I've seen Bam. But the reason why I favor is because the age gap, the size gap. That's big for the little guys. And Inoue is a monster. He's a monster. So I think that Inoue would be the favorite, and the betting odds and the blah 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 blah. And it's a hell of a fight, but I just feel like there's a gap there. There's a gap there that I don't like.
And just meet at 122. Just Bam comes up.
Bam will be coming because I think Bam settled at 114.
Yeah, he 114.
Yeah.
I'm saying if they do fight.
Oh yeah. You got to meet at 122. Yeah, because he's at 126 now.
Oh, he kept going?
I think he's at 126 now.
even someone with no knowledge of the game would instantly recognize that he is different from everyone else on the court. Similarly, in football, a player like Barry Sanders possesses that same unmistakable quality that makes him stand out as something truly unique.
Is on record for saying 126 is as high as he's gonna go. I think he's on record for saying that, but again, once you get there and you see how much more you might have left and blah 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 blah, I do think that that's a hell of a fight.
Yes, I would like to see Bam get more experience.
Bam has to have more experience.
That's the number one thing.
He has to have more strength. Let me say this real quick, and now I think we can get out of here. Strength doesn't mean putting on muscle so that you can hit somebody and clock them. There's strength that you need to withstand what you're getting hit with as well. And Bam has to really build his body up a little bit more, getting in the ring with somebody like Inoue, who has both speed, power, quick, who has the total package. I think Bam has the total package, and he's growing into becoming the total package while Inoue is there now having the total package.
6-year age difference?
Yeah.
6 years?
Let's slow it down just a little bit, respectfully. I say that with all respect.
Year. Both been the guy off the canvas and got the knockout. I love that. So both can be put down, both can be hurt. So we'll see.
That would be a sharp.
Insists that when you watch Bam Rodriguez in the ring, even if you know absolutely nothing about boxing, you can immediately see that he is a special and exceptional talent who operates on a completely different level from most fighters. Max Kellerman has clearly identified something genuine and substantial in Bam Rodriguez's fighting style and overall demeanor.
Nobody's going to give Inoue $20 million, $15 million to fight those guys at 126. Yes, Nakatani's a great fight. It's a matchup we all want to see. I don't think he beats Inoue.
I don't think you want to see it. I don't think you want to see Nakatani versus Inoue.
If you gave me an option, I would say, hell, give him more money to go down to 118 to fight Bam Rodriguez. Give Bam more money. That's the matchup and the name we want to see.
The reason why I don't like it.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If those guys went to 118 with no belts on the line, would it diminish the size of that fight and that matchup?
No, but I'm going to answer the question. I mean, you ain't going to let me, but I'm going to answer. The size of the fight? No, but it gives a built-in excuse, and I don't like that. What I'm saying is, let Rodriguez build him. They both young. Let Rodriguez build himself up to 122. And then there's no excuses. I don't like a built-in excuse.
Rodriguez possesses an impressive combination of blistering speed, creative angles, exceptional footwork, and a remarkable sense of calmness under pressure, all of which distinguish him from the vast majority of fighters competing in the lower weight categories. He is not merely a brave fighter who is willing to take risks, he is a highly skilled and technically proficient boxer who has the ability to make even the most dangerous fight feel not only possible but winnable. When Kellerman speaks about Rodriguez, it becomes evident that he is trying to convey a crucial message to boxing fans: they should stop viewing Bam as merely the smaller underdog who is chasing a larger-than-life monster like Inoue. Instead, Kellerman wants people to recognize that Bam Rodriguez is a special and elite fighter in his own right, with his own unique set of attributes and accomplishments.
I don't think anybody's going to pose a threat to Inoue but Bam Rodriguez. I don't think either guy.
I agree. I think they're both super special and nobody can beat them. But think about this. If 147 and 140 is 7 pounds different, that's just one weight class. That's the same thing as Bam Rodriguez going from 115 to to 122.
But there's
7 pounds. So just because there's a weight class in between, it's still 7 pounds. So we can give him time like all of these other guys that went up.
How many pound-for-pound fighters has Inoue beat that are top 5 pound-for-pound?
No, we're talking about the lower divisions,
answer the
man.
question,
we're talking about the lower divisions.
Answer the question.
Probably
none.
Zero.
Not even in the top 10, Barack. Not even in the top 10.
That's okay. So what? We're still talking about weight difference. That doesn't hold any weight. We're still talking about weight difference, and you would rather ask, and you know this in boxing, you would rather ask a fighter to move up than a fighter to move down, right?
And you would rather, unless there's a huge pot of money and we tell one guy, hey,
then he has to decide. Inoue has to decide
we got 20 million for you.
But look how long he's been at 122 now. He's probably in his mind ready to move up to 122.
A fight between him and Naoya Inoue would feel so monumental and significant, as it would represent a true clash between two exceptional talents rather than a one-sided mismatch. Promoter Eddie Hearn's recent comments about Bam Rodriguez have added even more weight and credibility to this ongoing conversation, primarily because Hearn has been involved with elite-level fighters for long enough to recognize when someone truly stands out from the crowd. According to Hearn, Rodriguez is not simply winning his fights, he is doing so with an impressive level of control, technical skill, and a composure that makes him appear far more experienced and mature than his actual age would suggest. This is precisely why Hearn speaks about Rodriguez with such high regard, treating him as a legitimate pound-for-pound level talent who deserves to be mentioned alongside the very best in the sport.
It gets annoying when people keep bringing up the name Inoue to you.
It does, but I mean, that's what they want to know. That's the fight people want to see. So I'm expecting the pressure all the time.
Do you kind of look at Inoue like he's your Spence to your Crawford? He's like the Mayweather to your Pacquiao. You look at him like that?
I mean, no, I don't. But I know a lot of people want to see that fight. So it is a matter of time before after.
Do you think it's actually realistic though? You're still really learning. You're still really young. He's turning, I think he's 31 or 32. So he is getting a little bit older. He still looks really great. Do you think it's just the fact of just like the timing is a little bit off with you guys?
I mean, yeah, I guess so in a way. Like you said, he's kind of a little older. I'm still young, but I mean, the fight can happen any day, so no.
Name of Naoya Inoue enters the discussion, everything becomes even more significant and intriguing. Inoue is already universally regarded as a fearsome monster in the boxing world, a fighter who strikes terror into the hearts of his opponents. Yet Hearn's unwavering belief in Rodriguez's abilities has made fans wonder whether Bam could actually be the one fighter whose unique style, unshakable confidence.
And Naoya Inoue, you have a big fight coming up. He has a very big fight coming up early next month. You want to go back down, obviously, to fulfill Undisputed, but what would happen if that fight came on the table?
I'm ready whenever. That fight's been brought up just as much as Trilla people fight back then, so if that fight was presented to me right now, I'd definitely go ahead and take it.
I mean, I'm sure you'll be a very interested observer in the fight next month.
Yeah.
One of the bigger fights in Japan, I can't even remember since when. What do you make of that fight?
And razor-sharp skills could make this dream fight genuinely dangerous and competitive. For Inoue, Barack's perspective on the potential matchup between Naoya Inoue and Bam Rodriguez introduces a more grounded and realistic tone to the overall.
You and Inoue finally getting in there, that's a fight that will define this era in the lower weight classes?
I think so. I think me against Inoue would definitely be, if not one of the biggest fights in the 4-weight divisions.
Do you have a preference of where it happens? I mean, obviously you're with Mr. Honda, so I'm sure there's no issue with if it happened in Japan, but I'm sure you would love for that fight to happen maybe in Las Vegas, maybe California, somewhere where there'd be a big, Mexican-American turnout.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care where it is. I love going to Japan anyway, so if I were to fight out there for the first time, that would be great, but like you said, if it's in the United States, that's great as well, just because there's a lot of Mexican-American fans that will support, so I mean, it is what it is. Wherever the fight ends up being, I don't care as long as...
Understands and appreciates why fans are so excited about the idea of Bam being the young, fearless fighter with the skills, confidence, and ambition to test a legend like Inoue. However, Barack also brings a sobering reminder of just how dangerous and formidable Inoue truly is inside the squared circle. While he acknowledges the appeal and the romanticism of the underdog narrative, he does not lose sight of the fact that Inoue has proven time and again that he is one of the most devastating and complete fighters in the sport today.
A year ago, Bam was at 115 pounds, just come up from 112. You know, it looked like a bridge too far, you know, a step too far. Being at 118 and being one division away makes it much more realistic, but that was his first fight there tonight. I think, you know, I'm a little bit of a fantasist when it comes to matching fights. For me, you know, I know there's weight classes for a reason, but I don't think the step is too far for him at 122. But I do think it's a disadvantage for him against Naoya Inoue. I mean, it can only be when you're fighting a much bigger guy. And that's what
Rock's analysis serves as a necessary counterbalance to the hype, ensuring that fans maintain a realistic perspective on the challenges that Rodriguez would face if this fight were to actually materialize. There is a general consensus that nobody, absolutely nobody, is going to offer fighters $20 million or even $15 million to compete against the top names at the 126-pound weight class. Yes, a fight against Junto Nakatani would undoubtedly be a great matchup, and it is certainly one that fans would love to see take place. However, there are doubts about whether Rodriguez would actually be able to defeat Nakatani, and some fans are not entirely convinced that they want to see that particular clash.
That's a great fight. That's a great fight. I like Bam. He's just like so. He's just different. He's different. The way he moves is different. And so, I mean, Inoue is a monster as well. Like, you know, I don't know, man. I like.
Were you in the corner when you cornered?
Yeah, when Fulton. I was in the corner when Azat sparred him,
That's
and then
what I'm
I was
saying.
just helping out the camp when Fulton fought him.
Okay.
So I seen him in a real fight, and I seen him in sparring.
That's true.
If given a choice, however, many would argue that it would be far more exciting to offer Rodriguez more money to drop down to 118 pounds and take on Bam Rodriguez instead. The suggestion is to give Bam a substantial financial incentive to make that fight happen, as that is the matchup that truly excites the boxing public. A thought-provoking question then arises: if both fighters agreed to compete at 118 pounds without any world titles on the line, would that diminish the overall significance and appeal of the bout in any meaningful way? This is a crucial point of discussion that adds another layer of complexity to the ongoing negotiations and speculation. Meanwhile, a recent tweet from the popular boxing account Pound for Pound has sent shockwaves through the boxing community by reporting that Naoya Inoue and Bam Rodriguez are currently engaged in preliminary negotiations to potentially fight each other as early as the end of 2026. The tweet also indicated that Turki Alalshik is expected to send a formal offer to both parties very soon, which has only intensified the excitement and speculation surrounding this potential superfight. This report has instantly captured the attention of the entire boxing world because Inoue vs Rodriguez is not just another big fight, it represents a true pound-for-pound caliber matchup that pits two of the sport's most exceptional talents against each other.
Is for sure one of the most skilled, if not the most skilled boxer in the world, and it's really cool that we're seeing two guys that are so small. You know, 118 is a tiny male frame, but their skills are absolutely on display every time they fight, and I think it would make for a really fun matchup because, as you said, Inoue is the southpaw killer, and Bam Rodriguez is the most lethal southpaw basically in boxing. To be able to have his knockout ratio at that small of a weight class says he's got real pop on his shot, and I will say his footwork is incredible, next to none. He's able to utilize that footwork, and he reminds me of Lomachenko, but even a little bit more buttoned up on the inside and able to throw really clean combinations and just keep his opponents guessing. So he does a lot of the same style steps that Lomachenko kind of made famous, but he didn't invent, but he made famous for the modern era. But Bam Rodriguez's head movement is also next level. He's able to get out of the way and under punches so well, so seamlessly. I was very impressed with it.
Naoya Inoue is already widely regarded as one of the most complete, dangerous, and devastating fighters in all of boxing, a man who has achieved near legendary status. At the same time, Bam Rodriguez has been steadily building his own compelling case as a special young champion who possesses the skill, confidence, and fearless ambition to compete at the highest level. If Turkey Alalshik gets involved and the financial offers become substantial and realistic, this dream fight could very quickly transform from mere speculation into one of the biggest and most significant lower weight fights that boxing has witnessed in many years. Sean offers a strategic perspective on how Bam Rodriguez should approach this fight, and he is not suggesting that Bam should rush headlong at Inoue or attempt to turn the contest into a chaotic brawl from the very first bell. Instead, Sean argues that Rodriguez's best chance of success lies in his ability to survive the early danger that Inoue presents, maintain his composure under intense pressure, carefully read Inoue's rhythm and patterns, and gradually begin to find openings and space between Inoue's relentless attacks. This is precisely what makes the matchup so intriguing and fascinating from a tactical standpoint. Inoue is undeniably dangerous from the very first second of the fight, with his explosive power and aggressive style posing a constant threat. However, Bam's best chance of victory may come through patience, well-timed counters, smart use of angles, and a disciplined approach that avoids any greedy or reckless moves too early in the contest. If Rodriguez can successfully navigate those dangerous opening rounds without absorbing a devastating blow, the fight could become significantly more competitive and evenly matched than most people are currently expecting.
Do see Naoya Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez as a 55-45 fight, or maybe 51-49. I just think that if Bam Rodriguez, who in his post-fight interview did say that, he was surprised by the power of Vargas. Well, you know that the power of Naoya Inoue is one of the best in the sport of boxing, especially about those.
Bam Rodriguez has recently delivered yet another statement performance that has further solidified his growing reputation, this time stopping Antonio Vargas in emphatic fashion and demonstrating once again why his name is increasingly being mentioned alongside boxing's pound-for-pound elite. This victory was far more than just another win on his record, it was a showcase of his exceptional abilities and his evolution as a complete fighter. Rodriguez looked sharp, composed, and fully in control throughout the contest, utilizing his superior footwork, defensive awareness, and impeccable timing to systematically break Vargas down and ultimately close the show in devastating fashion. At the 118-pound weight class, he appears stronger, more settled, and more dangerous with every single outing. His speed has always been his defining characteristic, but now his power is beginning to match his skill level, which makes him an even greater threat to anyone who steps into the ring with him. This is precisely why the conversation about a potential fight with Naoya Inoue is growing louder and more persistent. Inoue remains the fearsome monster that everyone respects and fears, but Bam is building the kind of undeniable momentum that makes fans genuinely believe he could be the one to truly test the Japanese legend. After a performance like the one against Vargas, Bam Rodriguez is no longer simply chasing greatness from a distance, he is actively forcing the biggest names in the sport to take notice of him and seriously consider him as a legitimate threat.